When I first heard about Transformers 1, I'll admit I wasn't expecting much. I figured it'd be your standard giant robot flick, explosions, epic battles, and a few corny jokes. You know, Optimus versus Megatron, cities getting destroyed, and the usual Michael Bay chaos, even though he wasn't involved this time. But wow, was I wrong? The moment I left the theater, I knew I'd just seen something completely different and, dare I say, something special. Transformers 1 isn't your typical Transformers movie, and I mean that in the best way possible. Set entirely on Cybertron. Finally, a movie with no humans getting in the way. The story focuses on the friendship between Orion Pax, who eventually becomes Optimus Prime, and D16, yep, that's Megatron before he turned evil. I wasn't prepared for how invested I'd get in their relationship. Honestly, it was almost sweet at first. Two robots on the same side, dreaming of a better Cybertron. You can see their brotherly bond, and for a good part of the film, I was cheering for them. But then, as we all know, things fall apart. D16 starts to see the cracks in their society, and soon enough, his ambitions get the best of him. Watching their friendship unravel was tough, and it gave me a whole new perspective on Megatron as a character. He's not just a typical villain in this movie. He's someone who was once hopeful, but power slowly corrupted him. His transformation into Megatron was as heartbreaking as it was inevitable. One of the coolest things about this movie? No months. I can't stress that enough. The fact that the entire film is set on Cybertron meant we got to dive deep into Transformers lore. As a fan, this was something I didn't know I needed until I saw it. There's no random human trying to save the day, no awkward romances, just robots being robots. And it's glorious. And then there's Bumblebee, or should I say, Cybertron. Seriously, he steals the show. Keegan-Michael Key voices him, and he brings so much humor and personality to the character that it's impossible not to love him. There are moments where Bumblebee's quips feel a bit modern, but honestly, they work for me. He's the comic relief, sure, but he's also one of the most likable Autobots in the whole movie. Speaking of the Autobots, the animation? Absolutely stunning. The filmmakers took the classic Generation 1, G1, designs, the original Transformers look from the 80s, and gave them a modern polish. They're recognizable, but sleeker, and every action scene is just a visual treat. I couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia, seeing these characters brought to life in such a vivid, detailed way. As much as I loved it, the movie isn't without its flaws. My main gripe? D16's transformation into Megatron felt a bit rushed. One minute he's Orion's closest friend, and the next, he's ready to overthrow everything they stand for. I mean, I get it, power corrupts, but I would have liked to see his descent into darkness play out a bit more slowly. It was almost like the writers hit fast forward on his character development, and before I knew it, he was full-on evil. Then there's the humor. Don't get me wrong, most of it works, especially Bumblebee's one-liners, but every now and then, the jokes feel a little too modern. There's a line about Cybertinder that made me cringe. Sure, it's funny in the moment, but it also pulls you out of the otherwise serious tone of the film. It's like the writers wanted to make sure the movie appealed to the TikTok generation, and sometimes it feels a bit forced. Now let's talk about the voice cast. Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, and Scarlett Johansson as Alita 1. Sounds like a dream team, right? Well, kinda. Chris Hemsworth does a solid job as Optimus. He's got the heroism and nobility down, but if you're used to hearing the legendary Peter Cullen's voice, who has voiced Optimus for decades, it takes a while to adjust. Hemsworth's Optimus is younger and more idealistic, which works for the story, but yeah, it's hard not to miss that classic booming voice. Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, though, he's incredible. He gives the character a vulnerability we haven't really seen before. You can hear the pain in his voice as he becomes more and more consumed by power. It's a shame his arc felt rushed because his performance was top-notch. Scarlett Johansson's Alita 1, however, felt a bit one-dimensional. She's the stereotypical strong female character. Always right, always smarter than the guys, always saving the day. Don't get me wrong, it's great to see strong female representation, but her character felt like a checklist of girl boss traits rather than a fully fleshed-out individual. What really caught me off guard was how emotional this movie was. I wasn't expecting to feel things in a Transformers movie, But the story explores some heavy themes: the cost of power, the fragility of friendships, and the idea that sometimes the people or robots you love the most can hurt you the worst. There's one scene toward the end that almost brought a tear to my eye. I won't spoil it, but let's just say it's a rare moment of vulnerability for Optimus, and it's beautifully done. This isn't just a movie about giant robots fighting. It's a movie about choices, consequences, and the lines we're willing to cross in pursuit of our goals. And that's something I didn't expect from a Transformers film. So, is Transformers 1 perfect? No, but it's easily one of the best entries in the franchise, and dare I say, one of the best animated films of the year. It's funny, visually stunning, and most importantly, it has heart. It's a movie that fans of all ages can enjoy. Whether you grew up watching the original Transformers series or you're brand new to the world of Cybertron. If you're looking for something that captures the essence of what made the Transformers franchise great in the first place, while also pushing the story in new and exciting directions, then this is the movie for you. Go watch it. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.